Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. So, we have our 500 millibar chart here, and right away you can see that this low pressure system and the associated trough is starting to make its way into our area. And as we talked about yesterday, that's probably going to lead to some precipitation and some snowfall for our area. As that moves through this afternoon and into the evening hours, the snow should cease, and the low pressure system itself will move directly overhead as we head in the overnight hours. And then afterwards, there's a little shortwave ridge kind of along the axis where my mouse is moving, and that'll move over our area. And then maybe there's a little shortwave trough right behind it, kind of along this axis here. That might not be a problem for our area, but if it were, that would be something we're thinking about as we head into Monday morning. Really, I think the biggest takeaway from the 500 millibar chart for today is that this ridge off to our west really does not move through the entire period. So we are likely going to remain in a northwest flow pattern here for a while, which means that for the most part, things are going to be relatively calm and stable, but we're going to have these little disturbances that, ride down from the northwest every so often. And of course, the longer we stay in this pattern, the more of those little disturbances we're going to get, and those disturbances could, bring more precipitation. Dropping down to the 850 millibar level, it's a little bit lower down in the atmosphere, closer to the surface, but still a little ways up. We can see this low pressure system that is associated, with the precipitation we're about to get, starting to move through and into our area, and getting a little deeper as it does. But it should really start to move out of our area in the overnight hours. And again, we very clearly, as we head into tomorrow afternoon, see that ridge still at this level, little shortwave ridge that'll come and move over our area. That might bring some more calm weather, less precipitation, if any at all. Maybe even some clearing skies. Who knows? And then again, it does look like there's a little shortwave trough right on its back end. And you know what? Looking here at this level, that could potentially be something we have to think about as we head into Monday morning. But we will certainly have to continue to keep an eye on that. Now down at the surface, again, we have that low pressure developing pretty much right toward just above us on the map as we go through the evening. And as that moves through, we will have some colder air start to make its way into the area tonight and into tomorrow morning. It'll warm up a little bit as we head into tomorrow afternoon. And yes, it does look like we have a low pressure system developing up here in Canada as we head into tomorrow evening and into Monday morning, associated with that next little disturbance right up here just off to our north. So again, we will have to keep an eye on that. While we have the surface map up, we might as well look at our highs and lows. So for today, it seems like our high temperature, our temperature now is pretty close to what our high temperature is going to be. The temperature is currently kind of in the low to mid 30s. I do believe it is currently above freezing. I think when I looked at it, it said that the current temperature was around 34 or 35. So something to keep in mind. It might get a little bit colder. But of course, as we head into the evening and overnight hours, it will drop down below 30 and then eventually into the low 20s. Of course, then as we head through the morning tomorrow and into the afternoon hours, it warms back up. We don't quite get above 30 tomorrow, but we may get close. And then it'll start to cool off again, and our lows overnight tomorrow and into Monday morning look to be in the mid to upper 30s. Now looking at our precipitation, it is showing that we are supposed to be having some snow off to our west at the moment, with a little bit of rain on the south side. And as we head through, some of that snow will move into our area. but it will move out pretty quickly, so it looks like it'll move in probably within the next hour or so, and then pretty much be out by around 6, 7 p.m. Then maybe we do get some more snow on the backside, maybe just a little bit tomorrow morning, but it looks like tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening, things look pretty clear. Then, as we head into tomorrow night and through Monday, looks like maybe there is a bit of snow off to our north, but other than that, it doesn't really look like it affects us much. Now, here we do see that we do currently have some snow moving into the area. And if we hit play, yes, of course, that is moving up and getting closer. In fact, it looks like it is probably going to start snowing in probably just like maybe 10, 20-ish minutes. Not long at all. And so even though we are slightly above freezing at the moment, this precipitation indeed is still snow. So there, of course, there is a chance that we do get some rain mixed in there. I would not be entirely surprising, but at the moment, it is certainly, mostly snow. Now, the official forecast from the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids does call for 1 to 2 inches of snow for our area. Excuse me. And if we go to our probabilistic snowfall forecasts, we see that the low end scenario, we have a 90% chance of getting this amount of snow or more, is half an inch. And the high end scenario is actually listed at 2 inches. So it's likely that the Weather Service thinks that we are probably going to be a bit on the higher end with their 1 to 2 inch projection. But regardless, that is the official forecast. Really not a lot of snow, but just enough to urge caution when driving, just a little bit when that snow is falling. Never a bad idea to slow down just a little bit and be safe out on those roads. Now let's take a look at our cloud cover. With the precipitation moving in, it is no surprise that it's cloudy. As we head through the day today, not really going to change. Although, as we head into the evening and into the early, really through most of the overnight hours, but especially this evening, we could almost certainly see some clearing. Maybe the moon peeks through the clouds here or there. Again, especially as we're heading around the midnight, 1 a.m. time frame. Oh, goodness. Now, as we head in the morning, of course, the clouds are gonna move back into the area. Rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. And it looks like they're gonna stick around pretty much most of tomorrow, but again, as we head in the evening, maybe we get some brief periods of clearing, some clearing. Really not super convinced there, but it could certainly happen. And then we kind of have a bunch of different clouds. Neither really, again, as we head into Sunday night, neither are really like super high coverage. Like, looks like at most maybe the low levels have about 70% coverage, but we do have clouds at all levels over our area, so maybe we still don't see anything. Although, as we head into Monday morning, again, it looks pretty clear down there. So maybe we might see that sun poke through in the Monday morning, just maybe. All right, moving on to wind, and before we actually get into it, I just have to say, I'm already seeing little spurts of snow, little snowflakes starting to fall. So you know how I said like in the next 10 to 20 minutes earlier? Yeah, I guess it was more like 5 minutes. But, details, right? Anyway, wind. It looks like through the day today, again, into the evening, it looks like is when the wind will peak. Maybe we see sustained winds around 15 or so miles per hour. But it will kind of hang around there for a while, most of morning, overnight, and morning tomorrow. And it even builds a little bit as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Maybe we do see some gusts, or not gusts, but sustained English. Anyway, maybe we see some sustained winds of around 20 miles per hour. And it looks like the winds will start to clear out as we head into tomorrow evening and into the overnight. And maybe a little bit builds back in Monday morning, but even then it still looks calmer than it was earlier. Now let's take a look at those wind gusts. And again, it does look like those are building in the area. Again, this evening looks like a peak. We're seeing some 30s, 35s here. So maybe a little bit gusty, not as gusty as the other day, but gusty. And again, it looks like that'll hang around for most of the overnight and into the morning. Again, right around that 30, 35 mile per hour mark. And they really hang around. Oof. And then finally, they also start to move out as we head into Sunday afternoon and into the evening. And then Monday, again, as we head into Monday morning, it looks like those gusts do move back into the area, and we once again see some 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you tomorrow.